Hello and welcome back to another banger video, guys. Today we're going to be reviewing one of my friend's chess games. He's actually rated 519 elo in rapid, and as you can see from this game, it's not going to be really good. He's going to have a lot of blunders. Game starts off with e4, e5, nothing special about that. But then he goes f4. This is the king's gambit, basically just giving away this pawn right here on f4, and giving the opponent the opportunity to play this move, or threaten the king, or put some more pressure on there, and basically just putting this pawn sort of in the center of white's position. White does accept this gambit, obviously, and then the move d4 is played. This is considered a good move, but as you can see, it gives a slight advantage to black. But he does control the center, obviously, but black can obviously still play this move and threaten the king. It was a satisfactory move. Black decides to play d6. This move does not really do much. I mean, he could have just threatened the king and then pawn here, takes, check again, and then he can't put anything in front of his head to move the king. He can't castle. That would have been a much better option than if he were to just do this. Like, this doesn't really achieve much. White hasn't even developed most of their pieces yet, and this doesn't really limit like sort of the mobility of white's pieces. White decides to take, which is considered a great move because it develops the bishop, getting it off its starting square, puts pressure on these diagonals right here, and basically just is a great way to develop white's pieces. The next move played is knight. Obviously nothing really significant about that. Obviously you want to get the knight off the starting square, threaten this pawn. He moves the pawn up, which is a mistake because after takes. Take, and if takes, I take. If takes, queen e2, queen h4, g3, knight g3, check, c6, queen b7, knight h1. You're just down. It's just not gonna be good. So they exchange material. Black moves, threatening the bishop. White goes here, which wasn't really the best move because now he has he can take the bishop, and after pawn takes, he gets white's queen, and he's sort of forced to take that back. But the position is heavily favored to black, as you can see, minus 1.77. It's not really a good position for white at this time. He does have the center pawn, but it's not attacking into anything. It's sort of like when you try to riz up a girl on Snapchat, but like you just don't know what the fuck to say. You're just attacking into absolutely fucking nothing. I mean, it's not a good position for white to be in. Black decides to play knight to c6, which is a good move, obviously. I mean, it would have been better if he put this bishop here because that would have gotten off its starting square, and it just has much more power than this knight. Now we sort of see like an Italian game, but like later in the game, like knight f3, knight c6. I still think that black is in a much better position than white here because white has much more potential with their pieces. Obviously they can put their bishops here. White doesn't really have a queen, and they can't really develop that. Their rooks and their knight is sort of tied up. They can't castle. I mean, they can't castle, but it's just not going to be a good position for white right now. Black decides to go for g4, which is good. Obviously this pins the knight down to the bishop because if you White decides to castle, which is considered an inaccuracy because obviously it doesn't really address like the need to develop pieces. You could have moved the knight off of its starting square. You could have pushed one of these pawns. You could have pushed the bishop. You could have done anything else. Castling doesn't really address that sort of issue. After bishop takes, it's sort of even at this point. I mean, black is up 0.6%, which is sort of pretty much even. I would say slightly favorable to black. And after takes back, black just picks up that free pawn, which, you know, I mean, it was a free pawn. You know, why wouldn't they take it, right? Bishop here, taking this free bishop and threatening that rook, which is the best move. Rook to there, threatening the bishop. He has to move back, and then after rook takes, all of these pawns are sort of vulnerable, and he plays the move bishop to c5, threatening that king, and basically this position is sort of bad for white. I mean, you know, he has his pieces are right up next to the king. You know, they're threatening the king, threatening this pawn. The king has very little moves to play in this position, and so he just has to move back to h1. For some reason, black plays d4, which isn't really like the best move. He could have, you know, castled. He could have pushed one of these pawns. He could have done anything else to sort of develop the pieces. He just didn't address that. Now, this is probably one of the biggest blunders of the game. Black plays knight to c3. I'm not sure why he did that. That was not really a good move because it first of all hangs a knight. You know, you could just take this fucking knight. I don't know why he did that. But second of all, he's down so much fucking material, and he's just sort of cooked. I mean, all of his pieces are right up against the king. They're exerting pressure all across these diagonals, all across here, and it does not look good for white right now. White goes a4, trying to, you know, save that pawn from being captured, or, you know, trying to develop that pawn and possibly threaten like a promotion or something like that. It's a good move. It's not, you know, that good. He goes rook b4, right, which is a good move because you're attacking both the bishop and the pawn, and white can't save both of those. And so he goes rook to f4, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, why would you want your rook on this diagonal? I mean, I understand, like, you're trying to defend the bishop, but you should have gone here, because then that would have attacked the rook and forced like a rook trade or something like that, and that would have also gotten the rook off of the starting square. I'm not sure why he did that. And then after bishop takes rook, you know, it's not looking good for white. I mean, white goes a5, trying to, you know, push this pawn up for some reason, but he's not really attacking into anything, and he could have attacked this rook right here, but, you know, it doesn't really make sense for white to do that. I'm not sure what that move really accomplishes. Black goes here, which, you know, the white king has literally, it's just going to be a forced checkmate because the only legal move is there, and then, yeah, it's mate. Overall, my friend played with a 62% accuracy, and his opponent played with an 80%. Now, my friend is like I said at the beginning of the video, rated 500, and this guy is around the same. So yeah, it was sort of an interesting defeat from this guy. I mean, you know, obviously he made a lot of blunders. He blundered, you know, he flat out just blundered a lot of his pieces. It wasn't the best game. I'm gonna put that out there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe right now. Yeah. Bye.